I would not fucking be where I am today without those people. And so who would I be to dam up that flow of knowledge and not pass it down to you? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day 20 of the free 30-day challenge inside of the Uncaged free group. So today I want to be talking about BAP coaches, why we have them, what is a BAP coach? BAP stands for big ass problem, ha ha ha. But in all honesty, like, what are we doing if we're not accomplishing big ass problems, if we're not solving them at least, right? And so we have retreats inside of Uncaged. We have roundtables and calls inside of Uncaged. For those of you who don't know some of the history behind Uncaged, the VIP program, we have 6 pillars: health, wealth, and relationships, making money, saving time. And those pillars came from the 18 years of marketing experience that I have at the time when I launched Uncaged. And the 3 biggest industries in the world were health, wealth, and relationships, which told us that statistically the most amount of people had the most amount of problems in those 3 areas. So like, if we could put our heads together and create a process that helped people, now obviously with us being an accountability group focused on men, how could we help men in the areas of their health, mental, physical, financial, you name it, their wealth, as we've talked about in the last 5 days, is it being more than just money, right? What does wealth mean to you as far as security for your life and your family, stuff like that. And then relationships being one of the biggest things. And that could be in your family life, that could be your friendships, that could be your business partnerships, that'd be business relationships with your employees and stuff like that, or your employer or coworkers, things of that nature. But relationships as a whole, we see some people that just have lost that authentic touch of being like a good, genuine human being with people. So we created, the first 3 pillars of the 6 for that reason: health, wealth, relationships, because we understood that the most amount of people need the most amount of help in those areas, as well as making money, saving time. Same thing with Uncaged, is we realized that no matter what your product or service is, if it could help someone make more money than what it costs them, you would do that deal all day long. As well as if you could save more than whatever that costs them, you would do that deal all day long. And then likewise, whatever you value your time at, $10 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, if it could save you that amount of time or more, it would be a no-brainer. Now, obviously in Uncaged, we like to overachieve. We would love for it to be a minimum of, a 3x ROI. It makes you more money, saves you more money, and saves you more time than what it costs you. And every program that we have inside of the Uncaged, specifically the VIP program and above, is based around that. I mean, this is a free 30-day challenge inside of a free group. Like, what's your ROI on this information? Like, how are you going to take this information and apply it to the next, right? So like, in our hearts, we would hope that you could take this 30-day challenge, apply it to your life, and make more than $3.23 a day, which is what it costs to join VIP. It's $97 a month. So it's like, cool. If we can learn this kind of quality content for $3.23 a day, then what happens when you invest that back into yourself? You get into VIP and you start to grow from that and seeing this group atmosphere, but then you need to take it a step further and get that one-on-one interaction. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today specifically is this big ass problem coaching program that we have. Now, I don't want this to come across as like a super pitch to you. This doesn't matter if you hire one of the Uncaged VIP, BAP coaches, or you go find a mentor, you go find a coach somewhere else. I hate to say that, but I genuinely care that much about this, and I have seen it in my own life. I have coaches that I pay now. I have mentors that mentor me now, right? And my coaches have coaches, and my mentors have mentors, right? And there's such a huge proponent to this. So for you right now, I want you, part of your homework is to figure out what it is that you need. Do you need a mentor? Do you need a coach? What is the differences between the two? And what does that look like? And where do they come from? Because for me, I look at people that are in positions that I want to be in, and that's who I hire. Like, you see people, all these fake gurus out on social media that are not in positions that I would ever fucking exchange. Now, obviously, I love my life. I love my wife. I love my daughter. I love what we're doing. I love what we're building, all that stuff. I'm not saying I want to change lives with them, but they are definitely in positions that I would love to be in, right? And so I am actively, and we share the same core values, and we share the same mission, and we have the same morals and ethics, like that's who I hire for these roles, right? Because it's that actively important in my future and increasing my success rate to all this dream life stuff that we've been talking about. So for you, I want you to understand that whoever you hire, right, it's not about the expense on what it costs you to acquire that role in your life. It's what that does. So a lot of times mentors, coaches, stuff of that nature, outside of being like very, very hyper-specific situations, is not something that's so earth-shattering that you couldn't have figured out on your own. I mean, we're not saying that. But it's the level of accountability and the statistics of being able to, like we talked about, and I think the first week of the 30-day challenge was your succession rate when you start to apply other people to the roles and responsibilities and the accountability of you succeeding and doing what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it, right? So I'm always looking for that. What is that leg up, that 57% for having my goals set down, 72%, and actually having someone I know that's going to hold me accountable, 90% to being able to go and regurgitate the information that I've learned from my mentors to someone else, right? If you've read my book, my mentor, mentee, peer section, I believe in this so wholeheartedly. And because I've seen what it's done for me, I have not ended up where I am today by doing it on my own. There has been someone that's been ahead of me, that's taken me under their wing, taught me what they've learned, and then I now get to regurgitate it to you guys, because I would not fucking be where I am today without those people. And so who would I be to dam up that flow of knowledge and not pass it down to you, while also simultaneously, selfishly collecting 90% retention rate? So that's why we're here. I'm selfishly using every one of you in this 30-day challenge so that I can retain this information more to better myself, for my life and my family. And these BAP coaches are doing the same thing. So whatever it is, I'm going to talk to you specifically about the BAP program. You could erase the BAP Coach program from the verbiage and input whatever coach program or whatever mentorship program that's out there that you have interest in. I'm just using this terminology because this is what we do. This is what we have found as works. And it's funny because one of these BAP coaches is actually one of my mentors. And so we've really taken a lot of time and attention into the way we develop this program. But again, this isn't about an expense to have a person there. It's the succession rate that you acquire when having someone in that role to hold your feet to the fire. Because what you're paying for is to get shit done. So for example, we talked about this. We talked about the CTAP, Critical Task Accountability Program. It's 5 critical tasks per day. It's going to be something that's profit producing, something that's forward progressing, and then 3 other critical tasks done per day. So when you start to look at this over a month's time, right? When you start to really, truly think about an entire month and being able to accomplish 20 profit-producing critical tasks per month, 20 forward-progressing critical tasks per month, and then another 60 critical tasks done, what does that do for you? What's the ROI on that for the investment that you are given? So for us, albeit while you're getting someone that is steps ahead, right? These guys are steps ahead of me. Like these guys, I can't believe, I am so honored to be running with these guys, and can't believe that we're in a situation now with Uncaged where we're bringing this type of quality of education and information available to people at such an insane rate. But I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to share this with as many people that will listen, right? And not only that, the importance of having a coach or a mentor. The next step is we talk about the differences behind how we hold people accountable, especially in the BAP program. So the BAP program, the way the cookie crumbles is your BAP coach tells you what critical tasks need to be done. They are there to hold your hands. Because a lot of times, all right, cool, great, Zach, you told me I need critical tasks. All right, cool. 20 profit-producing critical tasks a month. I can't even think of 20 critical tasks that I need to do that are profit-producing. How do I even begin to think that way? Forward progressing, what does that even mean? How do I need to know? Isn't everything in business supposed to be forward progressing? So in every critical task, forward progressing. So what does that look like? All right, cool. I went out of it and figured out critical tasks that's profit producing. I figured out critical tasks that are forward progressing. But how do I figure out what other critical tasks need to be important? What makes a critical task a critical task? You have all these questions. That BAP coach tells you. That BAP coach holds your hand through the journey and says, between now and our next call, these are the tasks that you have to accomplish in order to get to your goal, in order to start building your dream life. Here's where you're at. Here's where you say that you want to go, and here's the path to get here. You're at A. Here's what we got to do to B. When we get to B, then we're going to focus on getting to C. When we're at C, we go to D. And we just keep going down, putting one foot in front of the other. That BAP coach tells you what has to be done. Now, there's two options for the BAP coach. You can either meet monthly or you can meet weekly. It's 100% up to like your learning schedule and the way that you want someone to be there to hold your hand and check you. Because a lot of times when you start to extend how long it's been before you've met with your mentor or you met with your coach, if you start to veer off course and you're not checked for a long time, you could end up way off course. You know, my brother, he travels all the time. He's done, Continental Divide. He's done the Appalachian Trail. He's working on the Pacific Crest. He's done a continental, transcontinental, whatever you call it, motorcycle ride. Like, dude's very, very crazy when it comes to the experiences that he's had. And we were talking about the Continental Divide hike that he did, and because you're going through the desert for a long parts of time, and it was crazy. I asked him, he's like, dude, the Appalachian Trail, it was much more of a challenging physical exploration, whereas it was more technical when it came to the Continental Divide. He said, because if you weren't paying attention, you would end up miles and miles and miles off course walking through the desert. That is what this is like, is you're walking through the desert, and without having a guide to make sure that you're staying on course, you're going to end up miles off course. So what happens with a mentor or a coach is if you're not checking in regularly, you might end up miles off course, whereas if you start to increase the amount of touch points that you have with that coach, they get to keep you in line tighter and tighter, shorter, veers, shorter veers, so that you stay more efficient on your goal. And then from there, what's really cool is the way we develop this program is if you sign up for the BAP, you get everything that comes inside of that, which is the Critical Task Accountability Program, which is an automated system that's going to check in with you every morning. It's going to check in with you every night. It's going to keep track of all the critical tasks that you've accomplished. It's going to color code it. It also is going to give you an automated monthly, quarterly, and annual report so you can see how much progress you've made, and it keeps you inspired and motivated to continue going down the process, right? But then not only that, you get your accountability advisor that still is checking in with you every 48 to 72 hours. So now you have two people that are holding your feet to fire. You got one that you hired as a fucking coach to hold you accountable. Not only to hold you accountable, to tell you what to do, to hold your hand. Then you get the accountability manager that's checking in with you regularly in between your calls. That says, hey man, like, we noticed that you're slipping. What's going on? What do you need help with? Where are we at? What is your focus on? What's distracting you? Things of that nature. And they get to pull you back in. And then you get to meet with the BAP coach, who also has access to seeing what's going on and is also in communication with the accountability advisor, and goes, man, like, this is what's going on here. Let's help our boy out, right? Whereas then finally, you have an accountability manager that most people don't even know about because it's not even listed, as being an asset. And these are people that are going to check in with you that literally make sure that your BAP coaches and your accountability advisors are supporting you the best way possible. Hey man, what's going on with Dr. B? How's your meetings with him? What's your BAP process? And any of our other BAP coaches, right? And they're going to continuously be growing, and we're going to be continuously be pairing people up based on personalities and based on objectives and based on skill sets. And even the BAP coaches get to bring in other BAP coaches when they see necessary, who say, hey man, this skill set is more directed towards Anthony or Dr. B or whoever, right? And so now you have an entire team that is here to support you. And this support is coming because it's not about them. They are tools. What you're paying for, what you're investing in, is getting these critical tasks done. Like, what would your life look like if you were getting 20 actual profit-producing critical tasks done per month? What would that do to your life? What would that do to your business, your organization, right? If you're doing something that was forward progressing, Would you ever actually be feeling like you were stagnant? Would you ever actually feel like you're stuck in the mud and you're spinning your wheels and you're getting nowhere? Probably not, because you can literally see on a dashboard, hey, you're getting 20 forward progressing critical tasks done per fucking month, right? And then not only that, another 60 critical tasks that you deemed were necessary to keeping fires put out, to keeping the business moving in the right direction, to making sure that you're hiring and firing correctly, to make sure that you're adding in new products or services and add-ons and bonuses and upsells and downsells and cross-sells. This is what you're bringing people in for. And this could be personal or professional. I can't tell you how many times in the BAP coaching program, we've had to tell people to go fucking take your wife on a date. We've had to tell people to go fucking do some hobbies. Go fucking golf. It's literally been some of the homework for some of these people. Because what I told you in this 30-day challenge, like, we have to be more efficient. We are here to help you be more efficient. We're going to give you the tools of being more efficient. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for a coach. You're paying for better efficiency. That's what. So, like, where would you be in life if you had a tool like this? And guys, here's the landing page. Look at it. It's very simple. You saw it earlier when we talked about the Critical Task Accountability Program. What does this look like for you? Let's talk about an investment just real fucking quick. Again, it's not a pitch. Find someone else. Find someone else that can give you this amount of value for this amount of money. Weekly coaching, $1,455. Dog, you're less than 15, you're $1,500 a month into a coaching program that gets you 3 actual one-on-one people. Not only that, you get the Critical Task Accountability Program. You'll have access, because this is exclusive only to VIP members. So there is an extra $97 a month that would be a line item on top of this. But whatever the case is, $1,455 a month for weekly fucking coaching, $679 a month for a monthly coach. And then you also get this for free. You also get this for free. So $291 gets you the accountability advisor. $97 gets you the Critical Task Accountability Partner. But if you get this accountability advisor, you also get the Critical Task Accountability Partner. If you get the monthly coaching, you also get the accountability advisor and the Critical Task Accountability Partner. If you get the weekly, it's the same thing as the monthly. You just meet 4 times as much. So, like, guys, it's very, very, very... We made this as easy as possible. Now, this has never been something, and I don't want to take this as a pitch. Go get you a coach, a mentor from somewhere else if that's where you feel more comfortable. I'm letting you know that these are the resources that have been built because people like you have said this is what we need to take our life to the next level. We built Uncaged at $97 a month because we wanted to make this information as accessible to as many people as possible, with them having enough of a pain point to have skin in the game. Because we've given this away to some of the beta users of Uncaged VIP for free. No one does shit with it. No one does anything with for free. So we gave them an opportunity to have skin in the game. Then we even, not to get into all of the strategy of Uncaged, but then we gave people opportunities to have additional skin in the game without it being financial, so that way your dues were waived. But not only that, through a bunch of the onboardings that have been created and having these conversations with new members who are coming in saying, man, I love this. I love all the value that comes here. Honestly, I thought it couldn't be real because it's such an inexpensive price point. So what's the catch? There is no catch, bro. And so we go through that process. And then they said, well, man, I've been a part of this other program that costs XYZ, and this is what we got out of it. Is there opportunities like that? Because they really fiend for that one-on-one attention and that accountability level. That's what this program was created for, because people like you are saying, this is what I need. This is what I want. I want to take my life to the next level. I understand the value of having someone hold my hand and tell me these are the critical tasks I need to do to get from point A to point B. And then we get to point B and we go point B to point C. I want someone to hold my hand. It's not because I think I'm dumb. It's not because I think I'm an idiot. It's because these BAP coaches have decades and decades and decades of experience in doing what you're trying to do. They've achieved it. They have the accolades. They have accomplished what you're looking for. Why wouldn't you not buy back all that time? That's exactly what I do with Byron and all my other, Jacob Stoller, Dr. B, all these guys. I'm buying their time. They dedicated time. They busted their fucking ass. They did the research. They got the accomplishments. They succeeded. And I want a piece of that. And I don't have the time to catch up to them. So I'm going to buy that information. They spent all that amount of time. I'm going to buy that from them. I'm going to download them. I'm going to apply it to my life. And I'm going to end up leaps and bounds ahead of where I was going to be if I were to do it all on my own. So again, I didn't want to make it a pitch. This is very important to me. We were very convicted about getting this type of information out there to people like you that are truly have raised their hand and said, I want to be better. Here's some steps that you can be taking. Whether it's here, whether it's another group, whether it's another mentor or coach, I don't care. You need one. If you haven't read my book, read my book about even if you just learned the mentor, mentee, and peer strategy, at least learn that, at least apply that. Go find one. I'm a huge proponent of it. It's worked. It has gotten me to where I am today, and I'm not in some super great place. There's a lot of people above me, but I've fucking earned my right to be here because I've paid attention, I've listened, I've been a coachable and trainable human being, and that's what I want from you. So, guys, thank you so much. Shout out to building some wealth. This building wealth, I promise you, having a coach like that, it's going to be more valuable and give you more wealth and wisdom than you could have ever imagined trying to do this on your own by yourself. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for the past 20 days. I can't wait to wrap up the next 10 days and see where we can take this. We'll talk to you soon.